Penguin Random House Audio presents The Making of a Manager, What to Do When Everyone Looks to You, by Julie Zhuo. Read for you by Karissa Vacker, with an introduction read by the author. Introduction. Great managers are made, not born.
I remember the meeting when my manager asked me to become a manager. It was unexpected, like going for your daily run and tripping over a pirate chest. Oh, I thought, how intriguing. We were sitting in a 10-person conference room, kitty corner from each other. Our team is growing, my manager explained. We need another manager, and you get along with everyone. What do you think? I was 25, working at a startup. All that I knew of management could be neatly summarized into 2 words: meetings and promotion. I mean, this was a promotion, wasn't it? Everyone knows that this conversation was the equivalent of Harry Potter getting a visit from Hagrid on a dark and stormy night, the first step in an adventurous and fulfilling career. I wasn't about to turn down that kind of invitation. So I said yes. It was only later, walking out of the room, that I thought about the details of what she had said. I got along with everyone. Surely there was more to management than that. How much more? I was about to find out. I remember my first meeting with a direct report. I arrived 5 minutes past our scheduled time, in a rush and flustered by my lateness. This is a terrible start, I thought to myself. I could see him through the windowed door of the conference room, the same one I had met my manager in previously, eyes glued to his phone. Just a day earlier, we had both been designers on the same team, sitting in our adjacent pods, working on our respective projects while lobbing rapid-fire design feedback across the aisle. Then the announcement was made, and now I was his manager. I'm not nervous, I told myself. We're going to have a great conversation. About what? I wasn't entirely sure. I just wanted this meeting to feel normal, like it had yesterday and the day before that. If he didn't love the fact that I was his manager, then at the very least I wanted him to be cool with it. I'm not nervous. I walked in. He glanced up from his phone, and I'll never forget the expression on his face. It had all the surliness of a teenager forced to attend his 10-year-old cousin's Pokemon-themed birthday party. Hi, I said, trying to keep my voice level. So, what are you working on right now? His scowl only deepened, settling in like a bear for the winter. I could feel the sweat starting to form on my face, the hot rush of blood pounding in my ears. I wasn't a better designer than this guy. I wasn't smarter or more experienced. The look on his face alone was enough to dispel me of any notion that he'd be cool with the fact that I was his manager. The message was as clear as if it had been written in giant black Sharpie. You have no idea what you're doing. At that moment, I felt he was absolutely right. By all accounts, the path that led me to managing Facebook's design team was an unlikely one. I grew up in the dense streets of Shanghai and then the humid suburbs of Houston, an immigrant clueless about the significance of Star Wars, Michael Jackson, and E.T. Growing up, I'd heard the term Silicon Valley a few times, but took it literally. I imagined that nestled between 2 mountain ranges were neat little rows of factories printing silicon chips like Hershey bars. If you had asked me what designers do, I would have said, make nice clothing. I did know 2 things, though, even early on, and those were how much I loved drawing and building. There was a photo of me at 8 years old on Christmas morning, a huge grin stretched across my face as I held up the present I'd been begging for all year. A new set of pirate Legos, complete with a monkey and a shark. In middle school, my best friend Marie and I passed each other notebooks filled with elaborate doodles between classes. In high school, we discovered the magic of HTML, which let us combine our hobbies of drawing and building into the perfect pastime, making websites showcasing our illustrations. I could think of no better way to spend spring break than obsessively following the latest online Photoshop tutorials, how to achieve realistic skin tones, or redesigning my website to show off a new JavaScript trick, links that glowed when you moused over them. When I arrived at Stanford, I knew I wanted to study computer science. So I took classes on algorithms and databases in preparation for a job at seasoned, polished Microsoft or quirky, up-and-coming Google, where many former classmates had gone. But by sophomore year, a new craze was sweeping through Stanford. Imagine, we chattered excitedly in hallways and over meals, a site where you can check out photos of that crush from organic chemistry or get to know your dorm mates' favorite bands or leave cryptic messages on your friends' walls. I was hooked. Facebook wasn't like anything I had used before. It felt like a living thing, a dynamic version of our college selves that extended into the online world and helped us get to know each other in new ways. I'd heard Facebook was founded by some Harvard dropouts, but I didn't know much about startups until I took a class my senior year about Silicon Valley entrepreneurship. And then I understood. Oh, this was the land of hungry, foolish dreamers who were given the chance to build their version of the future with a little help from venture capitalist fairy godparents. This was the land of innovations born from a mix of smart minds, iron resolve, lucky timing, and a whole lot of duct tape. If I was going to do this startup thing at any point in my life, why not now, when I was young with nothing to lose? And why not with a product that I used every day and loved? A good friend of mine, Wayne Chain, had joined Facebook 6 months earlier, and he couldn't stop talking it up. Just come check it out, he cajoled. At least do an internship and see what the company is like. I took his advice and interviewed. Soon, I found myself in the graffitied lobby on my first day as Facebook's first ever engineering intern. The entire company at the time could fit into a backyard party. Newsfeed was not yet a concept, and nobody knew our service except high school and college students. In the world of social networking, we were dwarfed by the juggernaut MySpace, with its 150 million users. And yet, as small as we were, our dreams were enormous. We cranked out code into the late hours of the night, while Daft Punk blared from the speakers. One day, we told ourselves, we'll be bigger than MySpace. And then, laughing a little because it sounded so ludicrous, we'll eventually connect the world. 2 months into my internship, I decided to stay full-time. And because I knew Photoshop from my drawing days, my friend Ruchi Samvi suggested that I sit with the designers and get involved in deciding what to put on the screen. Designing websites is a real profession, I thought. Count me in. Because we were a startup, nobody thought it was weird that I was suddenly showing my own design proposals for new features. We were all wearing many hats then, tackling problems as we saw them, diving in and out of code and pixels and back to code again. And so, rather by accident than by any masterful plan, I added a new hat to my rotation. Designer. 3 years later, after that fateful conversation with my manager, my role shifted again. Our design team had almost doubled in size since I started. Having made it through my first few years at a hyper-growth startup, I thought I was used to change. I was no stranger to dealing with the firsts or rolling with the punches. Still, I was unprepared for just how much the new manager role would stretch me. For one thing, I was managing product designers, a discipline I didn't even know existed before I arrived at the company. For another, the responsibilities of managing people and the way they work together felt like an enormous leap from creating user interfaces or writing code. In those early months and years, everything felt new and uncomfortable. I remember my first time interviewing someone for my team. Even though I was clearly the one with the upper hand, I asked the questions, I decided how the conversation should flow, I selected hire or no hire at the end of the day. My hands were shaking for the entire 45 minutes. What if the candidate thought my questions were stupid? What if she saw me for the fraud I felt like? What if I accidentally made our team seem like a clown show? I remember my first time delivering bad news. We were kicking off an exciting new project that had everyone passionately discussing the possibilities. 2 of my reports asked me if they could be the lead. I had to say no to someone. I practiced the conversation in front of my bathroom mirror at home, imagining every terrible scenario. Was this even the right decision? Was I a dream crusher? Would somebody quit on me right on the spot? I remember my first time presenting in front of a large audience. I was showcasing design work at Facebook's F8 conference.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?